King Charles III has found himself at the heart of a complex and evolving debate concerning Australia's potential transition to a republic. His upcoming visit to Australia, a country grappling with its constitutional identity, has brought the issue into sharp focus. The King's position on this matter is one of respect for the Australian people's right to determine their own future, a stance that has garnered both praise and scrutiny. The debate itself is not new, with roots stretching back decades. However, the King's accession to the throne, following the long reign of Queen Elizabeth II, has injected fresh energy into the Republican movement within Australia. The King's visit, therefore, represents a pivotal moment in this ongoing dialogue. The push for an Australian republic has a long and complex history. The Australian Republic movement, founded in 1991, has been a leading voice in this movement, advocating for a severance of ties with the British monarchy. They argue that Australia, as a mature and independent nation, should have an Australian as its head of state rather than a foreign monarch. The RM gained significant momentum in the 1990s, culminating in a 1999 referendum on the question of becoming a republic. The referendum, however, was defeated, revealing the depth of support for maintaining the existing constitutional arrangements. Despite this setback, the ARM has continued its advocacy, and public sentiment on the issue remains fluid. King Charles has adopted a stance of careful diplomacy regarding Australia's future as a constitutional monarchy or a republic. He has publicly stated that he respects the right of the Australian people to decide their own destiny, emphasizing that the choice ultimately rests with them.
This message was further underscored in a letter penned by his Assistant Private Secretary to the Australian Republic movement, acknowledging their request for a meeting and reiterating the King's respect for their views.
While the King's position has been welcomed by some as a sign of respect for Australian sovereignty, others, including prominent figures within the Republican movement like Graham Smith, have expressed disappointment that a formal meeting was declined. This delicate balancing act highlights the complexities of the King's role as a figurehead navigating sensitive political terrain. The path to becoming a republic in Australia is not a straightforward one. It requires a significant constitutional amendment, which, according to the Australian Constitution, must be approved by a majority of voters in a national referendum and by a majority of voters in at least 4 out of the 6 Australian states. This double majority requirement sets a high bar for constitutional change. The 1999 referendum, despite garnering a near majority of votes nationally, failed to achieve the required double majority, demonstrating the challenges of achieving constitutional reform in Australia. Any future attempt to transition to a republic would likely face similar hurdles, requiring a united front and persuasive arguments to sway public opinion. The future of Australia's head of state remains an open question. King Charles's statements, while respectful of Australia's right to choose, have not quelled the Republican debate. If anything, they have brought the issue to the forefront of national conversation. The King's upcoming visit will likely further fuel this debate, providing fodder for both sides of the argument.
Whether Australia ultimately chooses to retain its ties to the British monarchy or embark on the path to becoming a republic, the decision will have profound implications for the country's identity, its relationship with the United Kingdom, and its place in the world. The King's visit, therefore, marks a significant chapter in this unfolding story.